So I've been quite curious to see what the Montblanc digital paper is like, and it turns out there's a store very close to me here within walking distance. My friend Jeffrey Moss went to check one out, so thanks for him for the tip. So essentially I want to go there, check it out, maybe get some footage, talk to them, and get some initial impressions to share with you guys. And I'll bring the Ray-Ban Metas, so maybe I can get some POV shots of me drawing on it or just writing on it or something like that. So we'll see you soon at the Montblanc store. So I just got back from the Montblanc store, so I wanted to share some of the first impressions that I had of it. I will say it's nice to have a physical store that you can go to and check it out. Best Buy will sometimes have Remarkable Paper Pros there and you can test out the tablet, but sometimes they're in a little bit of a rough shape and the tips are grinded down, so it's not exactly the best experience. I'd highly encourage someone, if you're looking at this device and you're considering it seriously, then to go to a store and try it out. And they do have them in stock there, so you could purchase it right there. They did not have the folio, however, so I'm not really able to speak to that. I spent about an hour and a half with the device, so this is just a little look into it. If you really want some detailed reviews, I'd highly recommend checking Khalid Rakami's review. And my friend Jeffrey Moss ended up buying one. He's the one that I got the tip from the store, but he's done 2 videos on it already, and he did end up purchasing one. For myself, I already have so many different workflows going on in these devices, so I can't really justify spending the $900 that it would be to review something like this. But I definitely did want to take a look at it and look at the drawing potential. So that is something I'll go into a little bit later in the video. Generally, I did think it was a pretty good drawing experience. Now, the gentleman who helped me there, Carlos, was very friendly and very informative in terms of the tablet and also the Montblanc writing history from devices they've actually had in the past, which I didn't know about, like the Analogue paper they had, which was a bit of a journal that you could put in any journal. They obviously provided one as well, but the pen had a chip in it and connected to the device that way. So I think they do actually have some digital writing experience here. And this is their foray into the first e-ink product. But it was nice, I got to see some really crazy pens, some of which range from 1,000 to all the way up to 50,000. So that was kind of wild. I should note that the device was in demo mode, so it gives you a little bit of a brief walkthrough. I started out with the linen tip, I believe, the one that comes on the Montblanc pen. And then I moved on to the smooth pen, which was nice for the calligraphy style stuff. And then when I moved more into drawing, I used the matte tip, which I found had a little bit better grip and control in terms of drawing and being accurate. Overall, the screen was nice. I didn't even have direct lighting on it, but the contrast was generally good and the crispness was there. One thing that was interesting is Montblanc has a lot of different ratings for their fountain pens, so they're different hardness levels and thickness levels, and those are mimicked in the software to an extent. There's normally 3 levels of thickness, and then you're able to choose between like grays and darks, for example, for that specific pen. The tablet itself does have a premium feel with the leather bound side. I believe the one I got was the mystery black edition of the digital paper, but they also have a gold looking one and a white one, which comes with a lighter pen as well. And getting into the pen itself, the buttons on it are mappable. So there's a rocker there where you can do a forward button and a back button, sort of, and you can set those to what you like. I found the writing experience to be pretty good overall. Changing the tips in and out was easy, and I think there's enough options there to suit your writing need. So it did feel like a refined writing experience, which is something that shouldn't be a surprise because it is Montblanc's forte. The stylus is plastic, however, maybe due to the capacitive nature of it. It's harder to do metal in a lot of these pens. Even the Supernote Heart of Metal, for example, it is all metal, but then the entire end cap here is a plastic device with the ceramic tip being there. And then one thing on the pen that I liked that I didn't really see beforehand was the Montblanc symbol on the end. I believe if you double tap, it clears ghosting. Instead of having to swipe like the Supernote, it is nice to have it there on the pen. But then I believe a long press clears the page. So that I'm not sure if that's customizable in the software, if those are preset features, but I had to be a little bit careful because it was in demo mode. I didn't want to accidentally clear the page and then have to restart what I was doing. And I did bring my Remarkable 2 there just for comparison because it is a 10.3 inch size screen. It's basically the same, although this is older. This is Carta 1000. So it's not as new of a screen, but it is exactly the same size. And the device was much smaller in general because of the reduced bezel sizes. So now we'll get into the drawing experience on it, which I generally found to be pretty positive. The only thing I'll say is that I wish there were layers. So maybe that's something they could add in the future. But I asked Carlos if there was something in specific he wanted to see me draw, and he was nice enough to let me film a little bit there and spend a little bit of time with the tablet. So he gave me this little postcard from Montblanc, and I just tried to do a rough sketch of it. It's by no means a finished sketch because I had limited time there and I had to get somewhere. and my battery was dying on this camera. But I just wanted to get a feel of the pen and how you could draw on the device. So we'll get into that. I'll show some B-roll here, maybe with some music. So I hope that gave you a little bit of insight into the Montblanc digital paper. I'd highly recommend, like I said, checking it out yourself. I probably will not be reviewing it unless someone at Montblanc sees this and wants to send me one. But thanks to Carlos and the team there for letting me try it. And if you want to check out more productivity tools, you can check that out here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
The story behind the 3 rings, those are our 3 first investors for the company. So
okay.
That's the reason why we have 3 rings on all of our
Oh, that's
rings.
cool. That's awesome.